What's up, After Buzzers? Welcome to the Deception After Show. Tonight we are wrapping it up. We're talking about everything. We're talking about bank robberies. We're talking about blank bullets. And we're talking about a brother's betrayal. All that and more coming up for you next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Was never on the ground. I've got no roots. But my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots.
All right, you guys. What's up, party people? We have so much to get into, so let's get it started. Let's get it popping. What's up, you guys? I am your moderator of the evening, Erika Edwards, but I couldn't do it without my girls. So, ladies, introduce yourselves to the party people.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones.
And I'm Chae Davis.
All right, you guys. So tonight we have the series, dare I say the series finale, but the season finale for sure. Episodes 12, Code Act, and Transposition, episodes 12 and 13. Overall, I want people's thoughts. For me, it was kind of like one long episode, to be honest. I'm glad they did it back to back because I kind of would have been salty otherwise. But yeah, so we got some questions answered and even more questions left hanging. So that was the kind of, I think, overall frustrating for me. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a little web series. I don't know. I need some wrap up, people. How do you guys feel about it?
I enjoyed it overall. However, the episode 13 left me feeling kinds of ways, because I'm just like, I knew they were going to do a cliffhanger, and I was just like, don't give me a cliffhanger. I don't want a cliffhanger. Then I got a cliffhanger, and now I'm upset. I'm just like, oh, I need season 2 now. I need to know how we're going to reround this so hard.
Exactly. I totally agree.
I enjoyed it immensely because some of my premonitions came true, but I was very heartbroken. But then again, my Jonathan looks so good in those sunglasses. I was like, you know what?
Gosh.
Yeah.
It's amazing that one person can look so good playing two people. I am totally amazed by that. Okay, so we'll go through episode 12, which kind of was like good, but just like a filler or a prepper. So in that episode, it was all about these bank robberies that the mystery woman is it's doing. And well, not bank robberies, she's actually robbing the deposit box. And I personally thought she is the best makeup. Her makeup person is so much better than the FBI, because every time Cameron went under, I was like, Cameron, we all know it's you. Like, how did nobody else know? But with that mystery woman, I was like, wait a minute. She was that old woman. Like, I was totally, that was, I mean, I've been fooled maybe twice this season, but that was one of those times. I was totally fooled. What did you guys think about the whole?
So good. I loved it. I love her little makeup. She has a thief crew, which is equal to the magic crew, and her thief crew is
dare I say,
point.
I think her thief crew might be better than her magic crew. I mean, I'm just saying, I love them. They're very cool people. I'm just talking about how good you do your job. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I'm just saying, her makeup girl is better. That's all I'm saying. Her makeup girl is on point.
She could do me.
Yeah.
Yes.
The makeup girl is definitely on point. Did not expect it to be her. Like, she just whipped off the face mask and it's like, oh, yeah, now I'm beautiful and gorgeous again. Okay.
I honestly feel like they had an old woman actress in the beginning, because I swear in that chair I'd seen that old woman before. I was like, wait a minute, I thought that was an actress that I know. How is it this woman? So, okay.
Most likely, yes. And then after being burned, she the makeup was better to just like, oh yeah, now I'm MW again.
Exactly. So, and I'm actually these last 2 episodes, I'm starting to like MW. Although I'm now, after 13 episodes, I am tired of calling her MW. I thought we did the whole facial recognition. Why do we still not know her name? I don't understand. FBI, could you tell me what you're doing?
I think that she was like similar to Jonathan, where she never had a birth certificate, where she just was alive and a sentient being, but she never went to school, there's just no real record of her. She probably doesn't have a driver's license
Or
because her
she
mom
does,
was like
but
a
it's probably a
thief.
fake.
Under fake names. Yeah, she doesn't have.
Okay.
Her mom probably had her in a bathtub. She's like, I ain't going to the hospital. I'm not registering my baby. Screw the government.
Exactly, because I'm confused how they're going to put her in witness protection program and they don't even know what her first name was. But that's always fun. Okay, so Kay and Cameron are investigating this bank robbery. And this is one of the times when we get some more backstory on their crazy daddy. And
We actually get to see the daddy this time, which I was
Yes.
just like, oh, daddy got some zaddy.
Yes, that's one daddy I love. British accent.
Indeed, Daddy had it going on. So,
We know where Jonathan got it from now.
exactly.
Oh, y'all just like leave Cameron out. I just love the reverse.
Cameron has the personality. Jonathan has
Yes.
the looks. I know it's
You
the
do-
same
I
actor,
was like,
people. You don't have to tell me that, but I'm just letting you know.
Twins.
Smoldering.
I know it's
Smoldering.
one
Identical.
man and a fake that he pats on the back all the time, but you cannot tell me they're not different people. I'm sorry.
Identical twins. I want to reference this.
Okay, whatever.
I did it.
Jonathan looks better. And,
Okay.
maybe it's the outfits. Maybe Cam should start wearing more black. I don't know, but Jonathan looks better.
He does.
Okay, so then we find out about Cameron's trauma in the bank. So that whole thing was interesting. And one thing I liked through both of the episodes was when Cameron and or Jonathan, which is what I tried to do. Like, I'm not a code talker, but I was like, I can do alliteration. So that's why I did the bullets and the bad brothers or whatever I did. I don't even remember now. But so I liked it when it took them a while to start realizing, oh, this person is talking in code. And it was so interesting. Although I'm like, okay, how's the regular doorman / thief is like, okay, coming up all these code words. Like, the FBI is here, but I'm really ordering Chinese food. I really liked it, but I was like, oh,
I couldn't get over him being in that super nice brownstone in New York City. It's like, dude,
It's a $4 million
that's not,
in your security guard.
that don't add up.
Exactly. And I was like, why are you still going to work every day?
I sure wouldn't.
I mean, personally, I feel like that's what you should do. Even if you win the lottery, you should definitely still work because the money will end soon if you don't work.
No.
Okay, no one else agrees with her.
If you have good investments,
If you have good investments
and you're not a
maybe
fool.
the people in the chat room will agree with you, but we don't agree with you here.
Yeah, right.
Because I feel like if you have good investments, that's the point. Your money should work for you,
Yes.
especially when you get to money of that stature.
Yeah.
Then there's no reason to.
But you work so
Work.
that you have something to give the IRS. Personally, I found it well, yeah, that's how.
Or you work so you're not bored out your mind, really. But go ahead.
And I do volunteer work and have cute boyfriends. Anyway, William Archer Sebastian's need to traumatize his child really goes to the core of the two boys.
Right.
Because there's no reason for him to hide Jonathan and Cameron. They could have just switched off all the time. He was just such an abusive, horrible father. And Jonathan knew it already, but Cameron seems to take a while to
Well, it's like
See.
Nacho says he has rose-colored glasses.
Well, I think, honestly, Cameron got to be the main person and Jonathan was the one hiding under stuff. So maybe he had a different perspective because Cameron was the one that got to be out in these streets and Jonathan only got to see Iceland. So I think that overall, Jonathan's perspective of the childhood would be a bit more shaded. Now, let me ask you this. So now when we're with the security guard, and that's when, Cameron has his flash, and he's like, oh, okay, you helped, my dad was helping you. He wasn't just there as the robbery. So is William Archer the dad's real name? I feel like I still know what the dad's real name is. I feel like the dad is just like the mystery woman. Do we really know?
The dad's real name is Sebastian Black.
Really?
And
Is that
William
what y'all
Archer. Yes, you have to try something.
I don't think any of them got no real names, but okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just saying.
Liars.
Okay. So we find out that William Archer is also Sebastian Black, which both of those names sound really fake, but okay. And so this is when we finally see Cameron's disillusionment with his dad, and so he goes on a drinking binge. And
Well, I mean, good friends help you get drunk when you're going through things.
Yes.
absolutely.
But of course, a really good friend would be Maria Menounos.
Yes.
Because she has their podcast edition. It comes on every Friday on iTunes. And it's just a great time for people to hear how other people's life journey goes. Not only as Maria being a successful woman, but also her guests. Everybody from reality stars to writers to TV actors. Everybody comes on. They give you their idea of how their path worked. And you're able to sort of sort of put it to your life and what's going on with you.
Which I think is totally cool. And I know she gives you relationship advice, which is helpful if you live in Los Angeles, and also like fitness, which is really helpful if you live in Los Angeles. So I think both of those things are great.
Make sure you subscribe to Maria Menounos podcast edition on iTunes. And it's free. So that's some life advice that we could all use, because I know I need a life coach and I don't have any money. So
Yeah, and if you do tune in, let her know that we sent you a deception. Hey. Yeah, I do need some help. But we digress.
Jonathan needs some help.
Exactly, Jonathan needs help. No, who really needs help is, let's go into Dina and Mike and the breakup. Which, this is the one time where this show actually, I was surprised. I think my prediction was that she wasn't going to say anything. And I was like, oh, look at Dina.
Mine was that she did.
Yeah, but either way, she didn't have to, because for once, the FBI was not stupid on this show. And Mike was like, I know you did it. And I was like, well, thank you, dude, because you are an FBI agent. So I was devastated by their breakup, though. And I felt like, I mean, I totally agree with him. Like, you can't really take anybody back that's like stealing your stuff. But I don't know. I felt bad.
I totally sympathized with Mike, because it wasn't just that he'd lose his job. He's a widower, so she messed with his money to keep his children have a roof over their head. And when it comes right down to it, she chose Jonathan. No matter what reason she has for it, she chose Jonathan over him.
Exactly. I agree.
Which is how he sees it. I do understand why he broke up with her, but I'm like, dude, like, give her a break a little bit, in the sense after you get out, after you stop being angry, because your anger can keep you going for a little bit. But after you get done being angry, her heart is always in the right place. Even though this time it wasn't for you, and she didn't know her consequences. That's also was her problem. Like, what do you think was going to happen if you stole his badge?
Right.
Like, really, like, Dina, like, you're a smart woman, obviously. How did you not know the consequences of what you're going to do?
Well, I think to some extent, maybe she didn't know the 15 years that she found out about, but she had to have known that stealing an FBI agent's ID and copying, redacted pages was clearly illegal. And to me, I feel like the difference becomes when you date someone who's like an FBI agent or a CIA agent or a cop or whatever. It's not just a job. It's not like, oh, okay, I work a 9 to 5 and I go home. This is a career path. Mm-hmm. And if you come between that person, then you have an issue. And I think that for her, fundamentally, whether it's Jonathan, this time it's Jonathan, it's always going to be something. And if you were with someone that is going to choose something illegal and that's what you do for a living, it's like you can't ever be together, really.
And I have to say, from her point of view, what she did, he wouldn't have probably gotten caught, and he wouldn't have gotten in trouble because, it was still in the room and was just making copies. And it wasn't like he was in 2 places at the same time. She walked in when he wasn't there, so it would have looked like he'd just come in and popped in to do something. It was her taking it out of the building and letting it get stolen and not noticing it was stolen for, like, I always notice when my stuff is gone. Always.
I mean, it takes me a second. It may take me an hour, because then, like, I start searching for stuff.
But fundamentally, if what you do is work for law enforcement, how can you ever really get back? That's like you work for law enforcement and you're dating a criminal. Like, how's that relationship ever going to grow?
Criminal.
I mean,
that's a big betrayal. That's a big betrayal.
I mean, I'm just saying, and she doesn't have the same adherence to the law as someone who is to enforce it. So to me, fundamentally, I'm like, he might be able to be cool with her, but I don't see how he could ever go back.
No, and that's a black mark on his career forever.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because he's never going to trust her when it comes to his job, and it's not the kind of job he can walk away from unless unless he were to walk away. That's really the only way, I think.
I feel like he will, like, if there was, like, I have to leave my prediction for what would happen there if there was a season 2, but I feel like if there was a season 2, they'll get back. Like maybe just at a different place, not where they were now, but it'll be a different place, maybe in a better place.
I think, so we'll save it for the semi-predictions for hopes of the future.
Billie Jean Girl 24, who's in our chat, says that Kate kind of confessed her feelings, but it was to the wrong twin.
Yeah.
Because I think she loves both of them simultaneously, but in different ways.
I agree with, I'm sorry, what was the?
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean Girl 24.
Billie Jean's not my love. Okay, yeah, but you're totally right, Billie Jean. I totally agree with that. Okay, so all right, so moving on from Dina and Mike. So Cam gets blasted, and the mystery woman, she goes in to see Jonathan, and then she goes in to see Cam because she needs the pen to kind of wrap things up.
Oh, Cameron, I would have been super pissed. I'm like, I am drunk right now. You really just woke me up. You couldn't wait till, like, maybe in the morning. like he had to pop, like, I don't know how many ibuprofen like to get up.
Exactly. Now, what I am liking, though, is the sort of sexual tension. Oh, my gosh, I can't believe we're finally having some on the show. But the tension between the mystery woman and Jonathan. So there does... when they are together, there does seem to be, even though she's clearly crazy and a murderer, there does seem to be a spark there that I don't know, like, you kind of want Jonathan to have someone now that Dina's not a
I want him with Dina, but I think she appeals to his darker side, especially after being in prison for a year. We don't know what all went down in prison, but what we did see, I think it changed him fundamentally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and well, see, I don't know. I don't really think that because I think, honestly, if we're real with each other, people, Jonathan has been a captive most of his life. So if he wasn't, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, he's the one locked up in the hole at the bottom or whatever before they jump out of stuff. So, So I feel like he's the one who, I think prison is bringing out something within him that was always there because of kind of the way his father brought him up. So she gets the pen and they go to this dungeon. Like the grandfather, such a psychopath.
Hey, yo, I gotta give him props for creating a robot.
It was
the robot
automaton.
Yeah,
right?
automaton. Like from that's some old school. No, and it's preserved too. Like I give props to that one.
Yeah,
that was terrifying.
That was very terrifying. And what's so cool when I talk about the sexual tension between Jonathan and the mystery woman. Whenever she's with Cameron, it's like fun, but it's kind of like when you go out with your play cousin. And it's like you kicking it with your play cousin. Like she cool with him, but it's just not like it's very interesting that, the actor is amazing because he definitely, with the same actress, has a totally different chemistry depending on which twin he's playing. So I'm totally impressed by that. And that really came out in that scene with the automaton or whatever, the crazy old robot from the 50s or the 30s or whatever. He made that robot, which was amazing. And I love the shooting knives. Oh, it's cool.
Just out of the hand. That is like gonna start in some nightmares for people now. I think it's gonna replace the
Phantasm Ball?
ventriloquist. There it is.
Oh, I was gonna say Chucky, but yeah, exactly. So
I love the Twister theme of it where he was having to watch his feet, and if he watched his feet wrong, the knives would come out. I was like, I would have been stabbed because I'm not very coordinated.
I love that he still had reception on his earpiece way deep down under that dungeon for Jonathan to give him tips. I was like, I know they don't have Sprint because
like they both did too. I feel like she was in on like
she's like, what'd he say? And so I was just like, they have the best reception ever because I don't get reception in subway tunnels like that. So.
Oh yeah, you get dead and stuff. I mean, maybe New York. Well, New York is a different beast when it comes to subway tunnels too. I feel like everybody's on their phone down there, so maybe they can actually do it. And we
but
can't.
They in the old tunnels that nobody with the older map, because remember Kay and the team had come up with this thing where their dad had stole from 3 banks on the same day or something, and these mystery tunnels. So while they're in the dungeon of the home, this room somehow leads to the expressway tunnels. That man was so crazy. That granddad, I'm like, he was thinking up some stuff. But I liked the concept of all the billionaires having their own little item. Because that's how I would be. If I was a Rockefeller, I'd be like, nah, I can't leave my money and these other 4 fools can come up here and get it. I would have an issue. So I kind of liked that. And I liked the idea that he had it so well hidden that they're never going to get their money. So I was like, but meanwhile, his great-grandchildren are halfway broke. But with that,
Free money. I guess being magician doesn't pay, so they had to supplement the
No, it
income.
did pay. It's just now a year without pay. That's the problem.
Yeah, or it didn't.
Dad.
It didn't pay like bank robbery would, obviously.
No taxes.
Exactly.
I feel like, Cameron had like a residency in Vegas for like a while. So, I mean, I feel like if you got a residency, that's some good money, right? That's like
Sebastian. I don't think it paid Sebastian that well.
Oh, Sebastian got different issues. Sebastian got a whole list of issues. He got identity issues.
Yes.
Yeah, he just got issues.
And honestly, I mean, I think for me, what I think really more so is the magic was a cover for the robbery. He was a robber. You know what I'm saying? First, honestly, that's what we're gonna say some predictions for later. But that's kind of, I think he was more into the robbing than the magic. But that is just my opinion. Okay, so it's so funny, and this was my thing about that scene at the end of episode 12 in the beginning of 13. He's like, okay, don't move. I'm gonna leave you with this like automaton or whatever from the 1900s to guard you.
I mean, it would have worked if that coin wasn't so close.
Okay, wait a minute. Are you serious right now? This woman has got out of so many things in these 13 episodes. You gonna let some old robot from the 1900s, very well preserved, very good with the knives, but okay, she's like really.
No,
Jonathan had
what happened
problems.
was like she would if she didn't have that coin right there close enough to her to move it, she would have had to went back up the back way, and he would have been gone. Like, I mean, either way, you could stay here and get caught, or you can leave the way you came.
Now, what he said was, you're not going to leave this room till we get the information. Basically, I'm going to go get the police. I'm going to leave this thing with the knives to guard you, which I was like, Cameron, this is kind of like the handcuff thing. Like, you really think she can't get away from this old...
But he didn't have a weapon. She had the gun near her.
Like, he has no shoes.
Okay, same way he ran out, he could run over to that gun and take her with him. That was crazy to me. I was like, she's going to be able to get out of this, right? Because she's not a dumb chick. That's all I'm saying. And I was surprised that he thought this old machine from the 1900s was going to do the job, which it did not. So now this is the first time that, look at Kay finally taking a shot at somebody. Go Kay. So she actually wounded her.
Yes.
She shot him
through Cameron, yeah. So he has a shoulder.
Although I feel like everybody got over their injuries very quickly.
It was just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
So I think
everybody had a Band-Aid because everybody was in interrogation the next scene. So, okay. But it's all good. We don't need to waste time on that. Okay, so once she's captured, so episode 13, I think, is more kind of giving you as much backstory, I guess, as they can finally. Because so she's kind of captured, but not really saying anything. And then we kind of start to find out more about, but she knows so much because she's so horrible. And we find out about this dignitary that's being kidnapped. And so now, in that respect, it's like a typical episode where they have to come up with their deception, and they go in on that. So how did you guys feel about that portion of episode 13?
That deception was so fun. I can get it up. I was like, yeah, Gunther, you can.
I know that's right, Vinny Jones. You can get it up any day over here at the Deception After Show. That's for sure.
I'm just gonna smile.
Oh my God. We're naughty.
Okay, now one thing I was sort of confused. So the person that they were deceiving because they needed his codes, he ain't never been to the building before? Like, how is he going to a different building that's similar and he just is like...
He kind of zoned out, and I guess he wasn't paying any attention.
Well, like, because he's like, if
architecture.
I don't get back, okay. So, if the FBI is on me, I need to, like, do what I have to do to protect myself, and the only way to do that is if I have, the wife as leverage. If I don't have the wife as leverage...
Well, no, I got that part, but I guess the part that I was kind of had to suspend my disbelief or whatever is the whole, it took him until he got to the pad to be like, this don't look right. And I'm like, but I know that they did a good job, but I was like, it is a totally different building though, right? So
it was done by the same architect, so I assume the outside was pretty similar. Then they had the flags up or something. I don't know what the outside of the other one really looked like, but what he really paid attention to was the tower. Once he saw that, then he was like, oh, well, okay.
Okay.
But you think he noticed the bones a little bit different.
Okay.
But I thought it was fun, especially when they went inside. But what kills me was, how did he not notice that there was a black woman at the front desk? Because I think wherever he was from,
also British.
There wouldn't have been any black British woman there.
I know, but
that's the time to throw in the New York, New Jersey accent, maybe. Just saying.
Exactly. All right. Well, for those of you who are listening to us on iTunes, thank you so much, and I hope by now you have subscribed and given us 5 million stars if you can, and certainly comment, because we love to hear from you guys, and we certainly will comment back. So thank you so much for listening to us. Even if you can't see our beautiful faces, thank you for listening. But yeah,
thank you
guys, love you guys. But yeah, 5 stars, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. But yeah, so they're keeping the wife, and so they do this whole deception. And at the very last moment, they don't get all the numbers. And so Cameron is like, okay, well, tell the mystery woman that it's Jonathan, and maybe that'll help. And it does. And that's when you know, oh my gosh, she really likes him, even though she's crazy. And it totally, like, that part kind of touched me with her. Like, she's not going to let her boo go down like that.
No, she is not. She's a ride or die with her boy.
I
thought that was fun.
I'm like, why can't you just, if you really wanted, I feel like if you really wanted Jonathan and you got over hating him, why wouldn't you just throw him the bone of getting him out of jail, and then if he chooses to come with you as a free and clear man, okay, but I guess I wouldn't make a deception, but still, I'm just saying, my question about that.
She needed to sever his ties to his brother.
Okay.
So he would cleave onto her in an obsessive, crazy chick way. Not that I would know anything about that.
Of course not. And I'm here to say that just because you forgive somebody don't mean you forget.
That is very true.
I would
be watching my back, because I feel like if they do go get that money together, the betrayal's gonna be like just nice flip flop for her real quick. Oh, you served your purpose. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
I think Jonathan would boot her.
Okay, so before we get to that, so we get the woman is saved, yada yada yada, and Dina does actually save everyone. So there's a little bit of a moment there where Mike was like, "Thank you for saving me," and it was cute. Like, Mike seems like he's getting to a better place with her, but he's still like, I'm not gonna date you though, and so that part is kind of like hopeful but still sad. How did you guys feel about their little flirtation at the end?
I feel like because he is a widower and maybe Slim Pickens in New York, he might just like,
yeah, she's never been to New York, I don't even think.
Get over it.
Plenty of women in New York, girl.
True.
Especially with a man that has a job.
I know.
A good job with insurance.
Job and benefits.
Girl.
Hey, he's the king of New York out there, yes.
He'd have his pick.
Just that. Okay, so back to the mystery.
Especially if he dates women his age and not like younglings.
Youngling.
We digress here. We can talk about Mike and his women options all night. Yes, all night. But so when we get back to the mystery woman and Jonathan, I think, I was being funny, but I think they have a very complex relationship, because I feel like in one of these scenes or close to the end, she finally reveals like they spent this great week together. And there are those people in our past where you're like, oh my God, I met him at summer camp or whatever. And you think about them forever, but she's still like crazy and I'm gonna leave you in prison. We think, maybe.
Okay, so this is my, like, I understand why she did it and hold the whole severing ties between brothers. I get it. However, but if I was a Jonathan, I'm like, really, dude? She let you stay here. if you really meant as much to her as she says, and she forgave you, you could have got out of jail. You didn't have to go back to camera if you really didn't want to. You free now, really. You free and clear. You got your freedom. It's just twisted relationship, and I'm just I need more. It's so twisted and sexy.
But she had a point though, because at the end of the day, Cameron chose to be a good guy and turn in the diamond instead of saving his brother. Although she wouldn't never gave him the tape anyway. But but he didn't really know that. When he had the chance, he didn't take it to save.
He gave her a diamond. I gave you a Lynx diamond. It just wasn't the one you wanted. I kept if that was me and I was Cameron, I'm fighting for that stance. You asked for a Lynx diamond. I gave you a Lynx diamond. You didn't say it has to be the real Lynx diamond.
Yeah, see, that's why Cameron is in prison right now. Okay,
because he got cold cocks.
What are your thoughts, Sharon?
For me, it was that at first she didn't know about the whole Jonathan Cameron thing,
right?
So she was super angry that he never remembered her, and it was when she slowly came to her, oh hey, there's twins. Oh hey, I've been targeting the wrong one. Oh hey, so then she had to get access to him to figure out if he remembered her and if he had the same connection. Because I think for her, because of the similarly abusive family that they had, I think she sort of made him this unrealistic anchor to sort of keep her moderately calm, which is why she was kind of obsessed with him, but she still didn't really know him. I mean, we've all been obsessed with them when we projected things onto them. Not me. I'm not like that. But others. And then
so I've heard.
The person. And then you meet them and they don't live up to your fantasy. So she didn't want to bail him out, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, nah, I'm out, so whatever, I'm out. She needed to make sure he would cleave onto her, which is why she needed to get him away from everyone else. It's sort of like dating someone when they first move to a new city before they know anyone. I mean, that's just common sense.
Yeah, that's what you got to do in LA. But yes, so their whole thing, and for me, some of the best moments or the best scenes really for me in the series were one, when she's like, you always say this is your father's coin, but this is the coin I gave you. I was like,
dang, you
boom,
kept that
baby.
For 20 years.
That was awesome.
I was like, boom. And then I also liked it when the line where she was like, I think that was the best week for you, not because I was there, but because Cameron wasn't. Booyah. So she got him twice with that. And then when she was like, I had to give them up because that's why I'm leaving now. Bye, boo. I was like,
So so the whole Dina and Jonathan, how they had a relationship and they broke up. We don't and she always says he broke her heart. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was that moment when he decided to get with the mystery woman. Finding that, Jonathan actually went out with another woman, and then now that woman's dead. I think that was the thing that broke them up versus...
I think their breakup was before that.
I don't think it's clear, because to me, when they kissed, but then I thought he was like, well, no, I can't do anything. So, or whatever. Yeah. So I don't think it's clear. And I did get the impression that Dina was broken. It was a prior breakup. To me, I think, but I think it was a similar scenario where the person was like, doesn't Cameron have a girlfriend? And another time, he's probably like, nah. And then Cameron doesn't have a boyfriend, girlfriend, and let's get it.
Why not? Yeah.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that added on top of whatever, but I agree a little bit with Cherry. I got the impression that it was an earlier misstep with women as well, though. Yeah,
of him doing something, of his being out and about and just going crazy, I'm out, I can have anybody I want. Whoa, too much excitement.
Exactly. All right, you guys. So let's get into the core before we start really being sad. But okay, so at the final, so she gets away. She's like, they don't even know my real name, but they're giving me a fake one. I totally love this FBI. Come on. And so they get nothing from her, but she's going to turn on some other random bigwigs. She's like, but no, I'm going to keep the Jonathan tape to myself. I don't know. We just turn her over to the CIA, I think. Okay, so at the end of the wrap up, where they have the little drinks and everything. Well, two things. One thing is now we find out, since she's not going to help Jonathan is going back into prison. And Cameron is devastated. He's angry at Kay and the FBI. He feels betrayed. And it's just a crazy scene. And so when he's there talking to Jonathan, he's like, I want to break you out. And so my question to you guys is, one, did Jonathan plan it with the mystery woman all along? Or at that moment, did he decide to break from Cameron? What do you think?
I think she had given him that option and he wasn't sure if he was going to do it or not. And then he decided, you have done this time again. You've left me in jail this whole time. We didn't pull the twin switch where you were in jail for 6 months and I was free for 6 months. You just left me in here.
I kind of thought Cameron was going to suggest that for a minute.
I actually thought he was.
That's what I thought he was going to suggest. And then I was like, he's like, no, I'm just going to trick this guard out here. Really, dude? That's what you coming with after all of this time?
Because they could have done that from the get-go.
Exactly. What do you think?
I think part of me really thinks she told him what she wanted, and I don't think he really was going to decide until Cameron burst through and was just like, I'm finna break you out. I feel like at that moment he decided, he's like, I don't want to be your shadow anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired of the shadows.
And they'd be
but I think
wanted
that puts you in
criminals.
such a dark place.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now one last thing before we go to our final sort of predictions for the hopes and dreams for our cast in the future. So when we're at the drinks, we're having tables, they're having drinks. This is before Jonathan goes back to jail. I mean, there were a couple of things to me in that scene that were so poignant and just truth, because they were like, okay, let's go back on the road. Let's do our show again. We're going to forget the FBI. And they're like, yeah, it's going to be the Cameron Black show. And then they kind of say, and Jonathan too. And so even then you can see that Jonathan is like, I'm still in prison. Like, yeah. I mean, kind of like what I was saying earlier. And you see him looking at the poster of Cameron like, I don't want this life. So, it's kind of like a prediction of what comes later in the episode. But it's very touching because you realize he's always been this person from the behind the scenes. And why would he really want to go back to that life anyway? So that I felt was so touching. And it was kind of cute that Jonathan tries to get Mike to kind of go back to Dina or give her another chance. It was my fault, blah, blah, blah.
So I feel like he might have decided right then, if that's the case. I feel like.
He said that, but I was just like, yeah, that's not going to happen, too. But it was nice. It was nice of you to put it out there. You nice. You want Dina to get some or whatever before you go on the road. I like that. But, but I do, like, when he really looked at that picture, I was like, he's not going to go back to that life.
No.
How did you guys feel about that particular scene before we get to
it was definitely foreshadowing. I'll give it that. Because he doesn't. I feel like he does maybe, but he wants to be that front runner. I think he's tired of all the cloak and daggerness of it all, and just he wants.
He's never been Jonathan his whole life.
Yeah. And I think he also doesn't know is that he knows who Jonathan is, but he doesn't know who Jonathan is without Cameron. And I think that's what he needs to figure out.
Exactly. And all right, so let's do, in our last sort of wrap up, let's do sort of our predictions for if they find another network or, okay. Oh, I forgot. We're going to do some news. Sorry, you guys. All right, you guys, the news and gossip, as you guys know, is that unfortunately the show has been canceled. So this is the series quote unquote finale, not just a season. So that's kind of, our breaking news for you guys. But we're hoping, and because they left us with so many questions, so we're hoping that it's not the end and we want to see so many of these characters again.
Some fans put together a change.org, which I signed to bring the show back.
Yay. Well, let me know. I'll sign that too. For sure. So you guys, why don't we go into our predictions for the future? We'll end the show like this.
Your AFTERBUZZ TV.
All right, you guys. What do you want for our people?
I heard that Chris Rodak had put together season 2, and it was going to be a little bit of a turnaround where they were going to be chasing Jonathan across the world after he trapped him because Kay shot him. So when he would have said, I'm not Cameron, I got shot, Kay would have been like, it's not him. I thought that would have been such a fun, interesting show. So they have an idea. So, hey, Netflix. Hey, ABC, you got time, you got space.
No, put it on Freeform or something. Okay, go ahead.
I definitely, for season 2, I definitely want it to be going after Jonathan. Maybe even Jonathan's going to have his own, if like for that season finale, like for him to just be like, oh, I have a plan. I'm going to do what Mr. Woman did to you guys and give myself immunity. I don't know. I just think he would definitely do that. Like, he'll have a backup plan for his backup plan in case he needs it.
I agree.
But definitely get Cameron out of jail. He's so cute. He won't survive it.
Well, here's kind of what my prediction is. I honestly think that perhaps if they have a season 2, it will be chasing Jonathan on Kay's half because, you know, in her mind, they're gone. But I think, what if Cameron and Jonathan realize that this is the only true way to get the mystery woman? And they are actually working together as they were so many other times when they were dealing with her. She thought she had got them broken, but because you can't break that twin tie, baby. You can't.
Oh, I love that.
So, but I think how they would do it is it would never be revealed till the 13th episode of the second season. But I think in the end, Cameron would be like, okay, this is how we really gonna have to get her. Or maybe Jonathan, there'll be part of that interaction. It has to look real, so it has to look like you knocked me out. And this is the only true way that because the government, clearly the FBI can't do it. They can't catch her. They don't even know her name and they're giving her immunity. So this is how we're going to do it. So that would be my prediction for the second season.
Oh, that'd be
That's
amazing.
a good one. Especially since she did have that cop in the jail. So he'd come in and be like, oh, hey, he knocked him out.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause it has to look real. And you know, and so that's what I think. That's actually what I think in my heart. Because in my heart, I feel like she can't break that bond even if she wanted to. That's
like
what
no
I
matter
believe.
like he said, my brother is a pain in the butt and kind of a douche, but he's not gonna betray me.
Right, exactly. And I feel like fundamentally they've always been that way. So
Yeah.
all right, you guys. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you all so much. This has been an amazing season. So sign the protest. Let's keep Deception. Like, let them get on YouTube or something. We miss them. We're going to miss them so much. But thank you guys for tuning in. You've been an amazing audience. Comment, you know, we will definitely comment back to you on these episodes. Again, my name is Erika Edwards, and you can follow me on all of my social media at Erika, Erika, D as in door, Edwards.
Hey guys, you can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
Hey, it's me, Cherry. You can find me, Cherry_LA, on Twitter and Instagram. Love ya.
Love you
Smooches.
guys.
Bye guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.